Okay, you guys. Hey, this is ilytrading. I am going to basically do a chart review, try to clean up my charts. So it is Friday, May 29th. The markets are closed. It did what it did. And we're just here to like basically just go over my charting, right? So today was this week was like crazy, right? So as you know, I like to do okay. Hey everybody, this is Illy Trading. So I am here to do my weekly charting. I got rid of all my previous lines because it was like crazy. What happens is while I'm trading, I'm adding new support and resistance, and then it just gets so crazy. So I gotta clean it up, make sure that it's nice fresh start for the week. So first we're going to start off with my fan favorite, which is Japan 225. Surprise, surprise. So anywho, do you guys like my hair? My cousin did it for me. I love my locks. I love them when I tell you when I have my locks, you can't tell me ish, okay? Not one single thing can you tell me about when I have my locks. Girl, you ugly. I know you ain't talking to me. Cause what? I'm in my natural element at this point. But anywho, so let's go ahead and start with some start support and resistance. This is currently on the daily chart. Okay. Let me turn back to my gold. Okay. So I love to do support and resistance. I know it's a basic concept, but it works for me. I'm a very visual person. Um and at the end of the day, like you just have to find what works for you. So I also do add in trend lines and go from there. So this right here is my daily charting so far on my support and resistance. We made a recent new high on Japan 225, which I am not surprised. The thing that I've noticed the most about Japan 225 is that when it runs, it runs. So when it's bullish, it's bullish. When it's bear, it's bear. So here we go. So we can do a couple of trend lines, but I don't want to go too far back. So I'm going to actually just start it here around the March area, but I'm going to drop down to my 4 hour. I do like to really look at the 4 hour as a whole and just, go from there. All right, I'm back. So anyway, as you can see, we've already in some support and resistance here. We did have a lot of consolidating here. Choppy, very, very choppy, but knowing me, I probably tried to take some rate trades, but they were not A+ setups for me. Um, we had a most recent, so as you can see here, we have like a good support right here, a good like previous almost bounce. So there is a line here, but it's not that heavy for me to put in right now because I'm working on a 4 hour. But I'm obviously visually, I have to keep that in mind that something's going on here. So I know that if I'm going to be trading this at a later time, I'm going to drop down to the 5 minute to actually see where the support and resistance is. And if it does look like it's not bouncing off of that trading that line anymore, then I will enter the trade. I see I might have to switch my camera over because it's going to be doing this dumb stuff already. So anyway, so once we broke previous support, right? We bounced up and did a little like consolidating pull back and then pull back just went right up. I was not expecting to sell on Japan because, like I said, it runs very similar to NAS. And the one thing I know about NAS is that when it is running, it's running. So it's not done running. I did have my originally marked, and I feel like I did this on a previous video, but what I'm going to start trying to do is definitely do my charting in the beginning of the week so you guys can see how it plays out. I do believe that over time I have become very efficient with charting here and just showing my thought and process. So if we want to, we can definitely draw a trend line here at these bottom, this major support here, because the reason why it's major support is because we have about three bounces off of that. All right, so we have that big bounce here, come down somewhat here, come back down, and then zoom off. Sorry, I was in the picture when that happened. Let me move this over a little bit. There you go. We have a bounce, come back, bounce. somewhat bounce, boom. We passed this previous support over here. All right, so now that we passed this previous support, I'm looking for buys. Why? Market structure. I love market structure. It tells you everything you need to know. I know there's so much things that are out there, and at the end of the day, everything works. It just you have to find the thing that works best for you. And that's like how you learn. People are audio learners or visual learners or somewhat audio and visual. You just have to find the thing that works best for you at the end of the day. And that's just what it is. So for me, I like my cards very colorful because I'm an artist at heart. I like color. It tells me what to do and everything like that. 4 hour gives me that big picture look of what I'm looking at instead of being that I'm a fox looking at going on around and see what the bigger picture is versus being the little hedgehog or groundhog doing all the detail work in between, which is what happens when you get on the 5 minute. So anyway, let's go ahead and draw this trend line. We're going to go up on this trend line. I followed Tori trades for a long time, so I did like the colors that she had. So I do tend to kind of keep that, and my charts do start to look like hers, but I don't really care. I like it. I thought it was a good concept, so why not? So I don't really have anything for a downtrend line because we are just completely bullish. So as you can see here, we have one, two touch points. So it would be really nice to do once it's done running a nice little pullback because then I can do another trend line. I mean, I guess I could do a trend line here. Pretty steep, but we leave it, see what's going on with it. So again, 4 hour, this is just me cleaning up my charts to see whatever happened in this past week. So I know for sure I took a sell probably around here. Nope, I took a sell here off of this big run up. So I actually caught this run up here in the trade because I just saw that it was bullish. We broke this previous support right here. I'm gonna bring this down. We broke this previous support here. Actually, I'm gonna bring this one down too. That looks much better for support wise. This is why I like to actually chart on the 4 hour versus the daily. So we broke this previous support, which is completely bullish. I was like, okay, perfect. Um, I actually probably got into this trade here because I saw that we were making higher lows and I wanted to catch the move. And I just kind of saw the move kind of happening during Asian session. So this was Sunday open, May 26th at 6 p.m. This bullish run right here. We had some little bit of pullback, and then this one that broke a previous line that I had plotted out via the fib extension. So once you kind of hit a mark on the resistance, I kind of do a fib extension to see where this possibly going because I know that we were making all-time highs recently. Sorry, I feel like I just need to change the phone. Hold on one second. I hope this works, but anyway, I didn't like the view that I had when I started to use my computer camera, which I can't wait to get a new like computer video. So anyway. So here we go. So what I'm looking for next week, right? So I know we are at all-time highs and it's hard to trade all-time highs. Why? Because you don't know where you're going. So as you can already see, like from this swing to here, I have this line plotted right here at 65. Now, granted, I can't show you my actual charts because I cleaned it up already. And I'm not going to go back and put them back in to do all that other stuff. That's just too much work. It's Friday night. We just got done the baseball game. Your girl is tired. We're in the tournament season and we are going to a game tomorrow. So here is, here you have definitely, we hit the one mark here. So we basically hit the 1 point. Hold on, let me put it back. We hit the 1.272. We definitely hit 1.414. And so my guesstimation is that we're going to also hit the 1.618. And I am saying this from experience because I love to trade Japan 225. I don't know too many people who do. If you do, please put the comments below and let me know how you trade Japan. I love it. It's basically now NASDAQ 100 on steroids. That's how I see it. So this is what I would be looking for. I would be looking for this next high of 67,383. From there, I do think that we will probably taper out and do a nice pullback, but I can always be wrong. I don't know what the market's going to do because I am not an institution. So that would be what I am ideally looking for. I do know that we kind of stuttered a little bit on the pricing on Friday, but then again, it's Friday. So surprise, surprise, not really surprised. So my goal for next week is if we can reach the 67,380 range, which does sound like a bank number to me. It would be nice to hit that and then do a nice little sell off. Now, granted, we are quite overextended on, not overextended, I'm not gonna say that. But we are completely bullish, and I do think we are in need of some slight correction. Technically, we probably already did it because if you look at this here, this marking right here, we came through around support and then zoomed off, came back down, didn't even touch support and came back up. So that right here, that second pullback of not hitting the support or taking out of any of these previous lows here tells me that we were bullish completely. So I am a bear, so I look for the same things more so than bullish, but that is my week. So I am basically looking for a run up to about 67,008, or maybe 500 or so. And once we hit that mark, I will be looking for some price action to tell me for a pullback or a sell off. It could definitely be a nice little sell off, but I'm not too sure if it's going to be a bear move for a complete bearish movement right now. All right, next slide. See, as you can tell, I be marking these charts up as we go. This chart is insane. This again is my NAS chart. As you can see in April, I have like this area of interest, possibly an order block of where a bunch of buyers are sitting. I don't know. I definitely would like to keep that in there. I would have to probably go back and do this at another time. But here we go. This trend line, as you can see, it is completely just straight up. We have previous resistance. We have previous support. We didn't even go to retest support at all. So that would be an interesting looking at later, like later. We are still technically pretty bullish. As you can already see here, as I was saying on my Japan chart, I definitely had some markings of my previous fib extension, but I got rid of it to clean it up a little bit. I don't really feel like doing that just now. I kind of want to see you guys, I want you guys to see what my thought process was from the week before, like, or this week that this ended. So here we have here some previous support here. We had a nice little bounce off here, came up, broke this resistance here, came back through, and we bounced off again. Now with this bounce, we definitely came through support, took out this, and then we were just running, running, running. Tapered out at price. We have a doji right now. So this was the end of close on Friday for doji. So we could be looking at a sell-off or we could be looking at another continuation. So if we zoom in on the 1 hour, we can see we had a lot of choppiness today. Um, Originally I was in this buy here and I should have took profit, but I did not. Shame, shame. I should have known better. I really did think that we were going to run to this 3,800 mark. But again, sometimes I be doing too much, which is me all day long. I do too much sometimes. I'm okay with that. It is who I am. It is what it is. So here, I would really like to see what happens at open on Sunday. I will be definitely keeping my eye on the charts. What I do like to do is that if I'm still feeling some type of way about the market, if I'm still pretty biased, I will put a set limit order here on top of things so that I can catch the move. Because I feel like the one thing that I need to work on is not being on the charts all the time. And the fact of the matter is, it's not that I I know I'm obsessed with it, but at the same time, I don't want to miss the move. So I'm working on my my inner self of knowing how I am and how to pull myself away. So if I'm bullish, I'm definitely going to be putting a set limit order here for it to take me up and take me all the way up. But again, I would really like to see how we open. Is it going to be a gap up? Is it going to be a gap down? Because technically we ended on the 4 hour on a red candle and on, hold on, sorry. That was a 1 hour. Oh yeah, it was a doji. So we don't know what's going on. It's indecisive, right? Buyers, sellers, we don't know where we're going to go. So, and plus, it's the weekend. So who knows? Trump can tweet something and then it all goes to hell. So anyway, next one. I don't really trade SPY, but I will chart it up because sometimes if my account is low on my Forex, I will trade it. But I don't have a low account, so I'm trading the big boys, NAS 100 and Japan 225. All right, next one is gold. One of my favies. Let's see what we did here. Whew. This bad boy is marked up. Oh my gosh. All right, let's take some of this stuff out. We don't need that here. We don't. I'll keep my alert there. Definitely love my alerts. Um, this here is the order block. This is the order block or fair value gap, which one or the other. This is a point of interest for me. I find that every time I go back and look at things, I am definitely looking in this interest of where there's potential buyers. And the only reason why I do that is because this candle right here is huge. So something happened on in this area that made the buy that is a buy. So I would be interested to see a sell down to this area and then a bounce back up. Now, if this comes right through this area and takes out this low, it's just a sell. We wait for this to take out this low, ride it back up and possibly come back down. Or if it bounces off of here, we would be looking for another buy up because technically on the bigger time frame, this is still will be a bullish. It would just be a long-term pullback. If this doesn't take out this previous low, it would be a more of a buy situation. Now, I don't know how big of a buy it would be because I do still feel like we have been under these trend lines for a long time. Obviously, this trend line is most significant because it starts all the way at the top. Let's see if I can clean this up a little bit. So anyway, that's basically with gold. Gold right now is back in consolidation, which is annoying. I don't like consolidation because I don't have any patience. So let's go down. This is the daily. Let's go down to the 4 hour. Let's see if we can get a better situation here. I do have my EMAs. I love EMAs because I told you before I'm a very visual person. So this here, this crossing over does give me some bullish signs. We did not take out any we took out some lows from here, but no major lows. So it could technically still be bullish. We did have a nice little liquidity grab here for a pull down. So we did end the day on the 4 hour on red. On the 1 hour, definitely a nice pullback though. I don't know if it's a complete sell off or just a pullback. It could definitely be a nice little pullback to right here and then shoot back up. And the reason why it could be still bullish is because we did break this previous resistance on this left right here. So this came up, also take out some of these highs, pull back, started to come up, and is slowly climbing back up. Took out this previous high. So let's see how the market opens up on Sunday night, which is probably my favorite night. um I am interested for gold. I am interested in the buy. The one thing I have been studying correlation and just doing it, just being like comparison on my charts, is that gold is very much runs with the indices. So if the indices are bullish, gold tends to be bullish. If it is bearish, tends to be bearish. I've also learned that gold and oil are opposites. So when gold is bullish, gold is I'm sorry, oil is bearish and vice versa. So that is kind of how I like to trade as well. So I will, if I'm in a buy for gold, I'm going to sell for oil just on GP purpose. Now, I will say this week I did notice that when we were red on the end of season gold, we were also red on oil, which I found very interesting when I was looking at it, but it didn't last too long. So, but that's something to keep an eye on things like just when you're learning and dating your instrument, really learn its tendencies. And I think it will be great for you because a lot of correlation for me helps me with my trades. So if I'm long on the end of season gold, why would I be long on oil? That doesn't make any sense because I know oil is usually always opposite of gold. And I know that gold, it runs very similar to the indices, like in just the movement area. So that's the thought process that I have as well. It's not always true, but two things can be true at once, right? So anyway, so that's for gold. Not too much. I think I want to keep the way it is, only because this block here is to remind me, girl, you're in consolidation. I do need visuals because when I drop down to the 5 minute chart, I do forget all common sense kind of goes out the window. That's why I feel like a lot of times my trades, when I enter in the 5 minute, I just want to enter and then let me get out of it because I will get all confused with the pullbacks and all this other stuff and be messing up the trade when you have to go to the bigger time frames. So the 15 minutes is usually a good one for me to kind of stay on, especially if I want to add to my position because I'm looking for that pullback. I'm looking for the pullback for me, pullback for me to enter for it to shoot up past my previous spot. Sorry, it's like opposite for me right here on this camera. So anyway, so that's gold. So technically, I am bullish on gold until otherwise proven differently. I know when you look at this right here, this motion of breaking that consolidation mode, yes, it did. But if you look on a larger time frame, it did not take out this previous low here. And because it didn't take out the previous low and took out some previous highs, it does make me feel that we are going to be going back into a bull, not particularly a full bull run, but maybe enough to get us past another trend line because we did pass this trend line here. So I technically can get rid of that. And I technically can get rid of this. So that's what we look like on gold. Technically, I am still bullish until proven different. And we did come right out of that trend line. So let's see how it acts up in this area right here. All right, next one is silver. Silver has been acting very odd to me lately. Um, I know it's consolidating, it's very similar to gold, but sometimes it doesn't run exactly like gold. So sometimes I have to look at it and be like, girl, what are you doing? Like this candle here should not be like, that was a huge doji. Like this right here was just insane to me. I was just like, what's going on? So we have another set of consolidation here in this zone here. Um Technically, I would be bullish on silver just because I'm technically bullish on gold. Sometimes it does run slightly different. I'm not going to lie. But for the most part, it is very similar to gold. I'm gonna make this a solid line because that is a good support line right here. So if I am bearish on this, I would be loving to see this price come down to here, bounce up, and then come back down and take out this right here, and then to go back up because then that would make a huge double bottom, which could be a reversal sign for a buy back up to that high, that crazy high of 96, even higher actually. But we'll see. That's a long time. That's like later in the year. But for right now, we're looking at some nice little sell off here, pull back and possibly a sell back down, or we're going to do a buy here, right? And then come back down. So we'll see how that goes. The next one we have is oil. I do like to trade both UK and oil on the Forex. They are very similar in charting, but their weight is different. So if I'm trying to excel my account as much as possible, and I know how certain trades are going, and I know some people are like, well, why don't you just put a bigger lot on the one? I don't know. Maybe because I like to have different things running. I don't know. They do run differently slightly, but the charting does wind up being the same. We did a lot of choppiness today, which kind of ate at my account today, was kind of pissing me off. But eventually it did cover this, it did fill this gap here on the previous left, which was done in April. We do have the gap down from the open on Sunday. I don't expect that to get filled anytime soon. As we look at UK oil and crude oil, which is the US, we are quite in a big consolidation. Girl, you keep saying consolidation. Consolidation is just basically we're in a range. We're not going anywhere. We are starting to break down a little bit. As you can see on the daily chart, we do have the death cross happening, right? We do see all the EMAs are going down. So if we are following true to suits and nobody is making any higher highs here. So this to me is a sell sign. And I mean, like, this is like a five top. One, two, three, four, five, six, six tops. But if you really want to do it, it can be three tops right here. These look like liquidity grabs, honestly. So if we're looking at the big picture for a swing, I would be interested in for a sell past this lower margin here, this swing low here at what 86.30, and then to for it to fill out this lovely gap down here at 75.30. Now, when it does it, I have no idea. We're in June. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know. We're going into the summer. People go on holiday, vacation. The price starts to get funky, playing around, or things like that. But I would be very much interested in a long swing long on oil to the area of 75.4. Now that might take about 3 to 4 months or 6 months, but I do see it happening. And then once we go from there, that was the pivot swing point for the most recent run up to 118. But again, we also know that was also a geopolitical situation. That is what caused that to happen. That was in the beginning or mid of March, that run up there. So we'll see what happens with oil. I'm pretty much bearish on oil. I will do a couple buys to try to sell down. But for overall bias right now, I would be saying bear. Now, granted, I can be completely wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just looking at the charts. The banks decide to do whatever they want to do. So that's my analysis on that. So that was the daily. This is the 4 hour. And as you can see, we're just like kind of cruising along on this. I do have these marks here for some previous support levels here. We have that support level here. And then we have a nice little support level on the left continuing on. And then we have that gap down. So that is my thought process of why I would be looking for a long time swing on oil for a sell. Next one is going to be oil US, which I told you is basically the same. This chart is really marked up because this is the one that I really trade the most. I just started doing the UK one. But as you can see, overall, it's generally the same picture, but it just is different price action. So we have a gap here that still hasn't been filled, but as you can see on the UK one, it was filled, right? Interesting. So here we go. We are still following this trend line down. I would like for this gap to be filled. Once it kind of does a pullback, I would like for it to take out this previous low, pull back, and come down another area of interest, just like we had a huge gap up from the previous time before in March on the UK oil. It's the same thing here. I would be interested to see what happens here. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm gonna wrap this up because the girl needs to go to bed. My baby, in this tournament, his team did good today. So I have a feeling that there's a lot of buyers sitting here, so that would be a momentum to kind of push up. That is basically oil. So basically, I currently have two pending trades open on oil for sale, and they are basically at the lower level of this recent support. And I will zoom in for you guys. And I will show you why. This was just such, to me, this was a great setup, but it was just so choppy. And I wind up like having to close early on a lot of the trades because they just kept hitting my stop loss. But basically, it was consolidation because literally, if I had entered here, I would have definitely been at risk for it to take out. But I don't know where I entered. I think I entered more closer to the yellow support, and it just kept like kind of going up and kind of getting out of my range. So I do have a cap on my set limits. Even if I'm like up here, because remember when I do these trades, I am doing a slightly larger lot so I can get a larger profit. So you see here, there's a lot of like up, down, consolidating, up, down, like a pullback. But it did close green. I'm sorry, it closed red on the 4 hour, and we closed red on the daily. Slight, I'm not gonna say that's a doji. Um, it's not a hammer either. I don't know what it is. Can't think of it right now. So anyway, oh, let me go drop down to the 15 minute. Nope, that's 30. 15. So as you can see here on the 15-minute, this is why I was like, once I had my set limit like to cross this line, so I would be in profit and then it would come up and then it would almost take me out. Then it would cross the line again and I would enter in and it like would come down and I'm expecting for the full real drop, but it just wasn't ready. This move was not ready. And a lot of times the move is not ready for you and that's why you wind up losing your account because your stop loss is so tight. Your analysis is right, but the move is just not there. It's not ready for you. So, so right now I currently do, I think I have my set limit at down here because I didn't want to set it up here for it to wick me and then go all the way out. Cause girl, please, I'm tired of losing all this, like losing that trade when I know it's gonna do what it's supposed to do. Don't have a long way to go for this entry level here of interest. So that would be interesting to see. Then the next big interest will be all the way down here at 70. And I wonder what that would bring us down back to gas. Would that be like $3 again? Shoot, I'll take that. All right, this is the future contracts. Like I said, I like to keep everything on the mark, but that's basically the ones that I trade. Those are the Forex pairs that I trade. I did try to get back into USD JPY or all the Aussie or whatever. It just wasn't it wasn't hitting for me. Because one, I am a very impatient girl. Okay. It's so funny for me to be like a nurse to save people. I'm extremely impatient. I am just like so like what? But when it comes to this trading and I know that it's supposed to be making the move that I wanted to move, like do it. So that's basically my recap. Those are my weekly outlooks. So that's what I'm looking for the beginning of next week, which is the end of May, which we have to be careful with trading because it's the end of the month and they get stupid. They get so stupid. I probably will not be trading on Friday for sure. And it's a holiday weekend because did we do Memorial Day already? Oh, nope, never mind. It's not a holiday weekend. Oh, child. It's going to be the first week of June. My God, today I can't get my dates together. It's going to be the first week of June, so we'll see. We'll see how things go. I think that's the start of the new quarter. So, okay, I've been on here very long. I do think that was it. So basically, oh, it's only been 30 minutes. Come on, girl. Clock it. I did all my analysis for you guys in like less than 45 minutes. What? So again, bullish on JPY on Japan. Here comes my son and his heavy foots. Bullish also on NAS. Here I am. Bullish on gold. Bullish on silver. Bear on all oils. That's my recap. All right. Thanks for watching. And if you can just go ahead to my TikTok or Instagram and see my recaps of my trades from this previous week. All right. Later. Have a good weekend. See you guys on the chart on Sunday.